What's up guys, and welcome back to SimCity. Today we are carrying on the cleanup, just bulldozing these parks to start with, because okay, it is giving us the most area of influence, but it's also taking up a lot of space, and we really want to knock these taxes down. We can knock them down to about 10%, so now it's at a reasonable level and we're still making money. So the city's built up because obviously we've boosted the taxes up to get money. Now it's going to expand. As you can see, people are actually filling in those spaces now by building houses, which is good. Okay, so and we've also got a little bit of space left as well. And what we're going to do is, because we want to carry on the expansion of the city, we're going to upgrade some of these roads once again. Every single road? I don't know. Should we do every single road? Have we got the money to? We've got the money to do every single road. We don't really need to do every single road, but we can do, because it will make it easier on traffic. But you know, I don't know. The main roads leading from one end of the city to the other, I may upgrade. The smaller roads in between the squares, I might not. But I don't know. It depends. It depends if we need the expansion. Well, we do need the expansion, because look at the city's sort of needs. It needs residential, and it needs industrial. We've got the zones marked out, we just need people to build on them. Now, yes, okay, having said that, we do have a lot of commercial, but hey, we can always rezone, and things are starting to build up. As I'm upgrading these roads, I have decided that I'm just going to potentially do every single road, because well, we've got the money and we can. And it'll help the expansion of the city and bring more people in. And as you can see, I've just started this expansion with the roads, upgrading them, and kind of, I wouldn't say straight away, but pretty quickly, obviously places have expanded, and we've gone up from earning about 1,000 an hour when I lowered the taxes to 10% to doubling it just over. So it's showing that it's showing that obviously the expansion is working. I do apologise about what happened then with the mic. I kind of just knocked it, so I do apologise about that. Okay, so yeah, this is probably going to be the boring part of the episode, where you know I'm expanding roads. There's not a lot I can really talk about. What we aim to do in this episode is try and get the required residents to upgrade the town hall, and then we can add some expansions to it, like different departments. Because obviously the taxes in the city, we've obviously been fluctuating them up and down to try and earn money. We can manipulate it a bit more with the Department of Finance. We can unlock more sort of like transport links, or better transport links with the Department of Transport. Department of Tourism obviously brings tourists in. So those are the things that we'll be looking to add to this city. But obviously to do that, we need to get people in, and expansion is the best way to do that. So I think I've done every single road. I might add a couple here and there where it's needed, just to kind of help out a little bit. No, maybe not. Okay, there's a fire going on there, and there's 13 abandoned buildings. So this has become the norm really for an episode. Road upgrades and then destroy pretty much the entire city. Luckily this time it's not the entire city, and it's only about 13 or so abandoned buildings, which isn't too bad. Let's see how our power's doing. We are in 44 megawatts of excess. That might be enough to cover us for now, but I don't think it will be in the long run. So it might be something that we need to look at. It has gone up a little bit to 49.6, but I don't think that it's going to be enough. So I have destroyed a couple of wind turbines there. I do understand that I have destroyed a couple of wind turbines, so I know that the power's going to go down. It's gone down to 37, and I know things are starting to build on that road now, and I understand that we do need people in, and this wind power plant is taking up a lot of space, so I'm just going to try and reorganize it just a little bit so I can still get buildings in, but so I can still get my power output. And I should be able to fit another one there. So I've destroyed like a full row and added 2 back, which, yeah, okay, 24.4 we've gone down to, and it's probably not going to be enough to power this city in the long run, as I said. So maybe that's something that we need to look at in future episodes, or maybe even this episode, if we've got the money and the time to think about what we're going to do with that. Like I said, it's taking up a lot of space, so, and we could have quite a few residents in there as well, so it's thinking of what to do with it. Okay, so moving on then. What are we going to do? It's mainly just a restructuring part of this episode, and thinking where we can put things, and you know, and what I've done there is I've destroyed that road at the very edge of the city. Now you're probably thinking, oh well, you're trying to expand, why are you destroying roads? Because I upgraded it as far as I could and couldn't upgrade it any further to make it into one of these avenues instead of a normal street. So to do that, I had to basically bulldoze it. But having said that, it will be a bigger road, so when obviously everything builds back on it again, and I rezone it with full residential, or whatever I'm going to zone it as I've just said, full residential, because we need it, straight away there you see things are going to build on it because it can hold more traffic now, and it's one way from one end of the city to the other, so it needs to be quite a big road. I'm going to put the park back in because obviously I destroyed that when I was well, when I destroyed the road, it destroyed the park, so I need to obviously put that back in. I'm going to just expand it just a tiny bit, again to add to the area of influence around that area. I may just do that a few more times, and that's destroy some of the bigger road, some of these smaller roads, and turn them into bigger roads, only because then you know, it can handle more traffic in certain areas, and it'll just be quicker, and the smaller roads will be used as, well, shortcuts or whatever. Okay, so there you go. Destroyed that road. It does get rid of the clinic. It does get rid of a load of parks. Again, not to worry, we can always put them back. So we're going to put an avenue straight through here. There you go. We may need to connect that road up again because it messed up. There's no more places where the connection doesn't join, and we may need to zone that. So when I can get a decent look, I will zone that. But first, I'm going to destroy a second road, or a third road, should I say, and put another huge avenue from one end of the city to the other. Again, because it just helps the place. You know, you take people, you want the quicker roads but you also want a smaller road. You want a mix of roads, and obviously we've been expanding, so we've got high density. Are they called high density streets? Are they? Which are okay because they're like, you know, 2 lanes in each direction, but you can't expand it any further. So the problem with that is where there's heavy traffic, you need more. You kind of need more lanes. So that's why I have to destroy the roads to build these bigger roads, because then it helps just relieve traffic problems, which I know eventually we're going to get. We've not got them at the minute, but we're eventually going to get them. So what I'm doing now is just rezoning where everything was. All the commercial going in and the residential going back in where it was. Because obviously we've put these roads in and we want them to build up. To do that, we need to zone. It doesn't just automatically build, which is something that annoys me in this game, because in other city building games it will automatically just try and build something, sometimes without zoning. But with this you do have to zone, which is good in a way because you're building it to your spec, and it's not just building a random building, you know, for you. You're actually saying, build this here for me, thank you very much. And while I was whittering on there, I put the clinic back down where it was. Might put another one in just up here near the highway connection, only because that clinic that we had only goes so far in the city. It only can reach so far, so we need another clinic, you know, just so it's a bit more convenient for everybody. City Hall, hey! Fireworks are going off because we have done something. I think we've reached the required amount of residents we need. So it means we can lower taxes. There you go, we're making profit just about on 8%, 7%. I do want to try and make this city as tax-free as possible. That's the aim. So obviously there is going to be taxes, but with the Department of Finance we'll be able to balance those books and fine-tune them just a little bit more. Taxing residents, not a lot. Commercial taxed a bit more. Industrial taxed the most, even though because there's not much of it, and because they're going to output quite a bit anyway. So just as I said, going back to all the zoning, putting all the zoning back in. I did notice as well when we were on the right hand side of the city putting the clinic down, I noticed that an industrial building expanded a bit. So they're quite slow to expand, but the demand is up, so they will expand eventually. There's not much of it, and there is a very high demand for it, and residential's gone down a bit, but there's always going to be a demand for industrial. And okay, that's all well and good, the demand's there, but it pollutes the city, so that's why I'm trying to condense it just down to a small corner and not have much of it. It is kind of affecting the commercial though, but they can always import Sodom. Okay, so we are still making money, even though it says that we've got to turn off services, raise taxes or turn off services because we've got budget problems. We don't have budget problems, we're making money. We don't have much money in the treasury, so we can't build anything like streetcars or anything, because we only have like 8,400 and something simoleons, and we're only earning 1,700 and something an hour, so we're not earning much. So this is going to be a slow process to actually earn money back, but we'll get there. We'll get there. The city's expanded quite a bit, I'd say, in this episode. Buildings have obviously expanded, and we've made some roads bigger. We've upgraded other roads, and a lot of people have moved in, and we've achieved our residential targets, which is always good. It means obviously the city is expanding. not really much to talk about. As I said, not really much to talk about in this part because same as the last part, really. It's just been a clean up, and this has just been the aftermath of that clean up. You've got to basically fix things and carry on with your upgrades, and that's essentially what this part was. Just upgrading, fixing, and fine-tuning things. It's like I'm doing here, just fine-tuning, getting rid of some buildings there so I can future-proof, so I can put a streetcar stop just in that corner, obviously when I have the money for it. But to do that, I need the money. It's a slow process, and we're about halfway to the streetcar stop in terms of budget in the treasury. So yeah, that's that. I mean, we will be obviously building things in future episodes. I am going to upgrade this streetcar avenue just so it can obviously from a high density avenue to a streetcar avenue, because obviously it wouldn't work if it's not a streetcar avenue. There's no point having streetcars if you haven't got streetcar avenues. So I'm going to conclude the episode with these upgrades. There'll be more SimCity in the future, as always, and I shall see you next week. Bye.